Well, hi again, everybody. It's time for the 2012 high school football season for the Robert E. Lee Red Raiders, the Kickoff Classic. We'll get it going on Saturday night as the Red Raiders at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium will take on the Sulphur Springs group that will come in. First time in a long time they've been to Tyler. And new head football coach Darrell Piske and his staff making their official debut on Saturday night. Coach, I know you've been here for several months now, but it's kickoff week.
Yeah, it's finally here. I mean, we've been waiting on it and anticipating it and thinking about it every day, and I guess we better be ready because it's here.
How exciting! I mean, I know what the guys, the young men are thinking. I know they get.
Well,
get
everybody.
the jitters. What about you?
Well, I don't know if it's the jitters. You just got a lot of anticipation on things, and see where we are, give us a good feel for some of the things we think we do well. We may not do well, and we'll find that out on Saturday. And some of them that we don't think we're very good at, and we're going to look up. And we're going to be pretty good at it. So it's always fun. Everybody in the state of Texas, is undefeated right now. So everybody's pretty excited.
And I know folks who don't know you would want to know a little bit about you again. You've been at Fairfield for the last few years and did very well there. So give us a little bit of background on Darrell Pisky.
Well, grew up in Marlin, Texas, and knew right away I wanted to be a football coach. And Kent Bechtel used to be at Waco Midway for a lot of years, kind of led me down that path and helped me keep going from the wrong path. So, got into coaching, started in Terrell, Texas.
He couldn't talk you out of it.
No,
you couldn't talk him out of it.
I still see him all the time because his son was my offensive coordinator at Fairfield and took over for me. It's kind of funny. Coach Bechtel, retired, kind of. He retired from Midway and thought he'd come help us over in Fairfield. So his son was real excited about all that. But yeah, Coach Bechtel would come down and I'd say, Coach, some days I don't like you very much. He goes, why? I go, you're the reason I got in this stuff. But no, coached over and started in Terrell and then moved around. And then my first head job was in Valley Mills down by Waco, and ended up going over Fairfield. Been there the last 4 years. Really thought I was going to end up there. And then of course my wife had fell in love with Tyler, coming over to Tyler some, and made the comment last year that, if it ever came open, she'd like to finish up in Tyler.
All right.
And 6 months later, it worked out and I was offered the job, so I really couldn't say no or not go home.
Right.
And so we're excited to be here. The kids have done well and bought into what we're doing. Just, really pleased with where they are right now, and then we'll know more after Saturday.
So the old saying, if mom ain't happy, nobody's happy. In this case, she's very happy to be here then, right?
So far, so good. Of course, we haven't played a game yet. So, no, it's a great city, met a lot of good people, and just really, really excited to be a part of the community.
Now, I've got to know you over the past few months. Coaches have a life too, and you've been in the process of trying to make that transition. You've been living kind of out of a suitcase. You want to tell them what's been going on for the last
Yeah, I'm still there. I've been living in a camper since February 9th. Now my in-laws, just to show you how in-laws are, how good they are to their son-in-laws, is they had this big old nice fifth wheel, and they downsized. So about the time I needed to borrow their fifth wheel, we went from a 36-foot big old fifth wheel to a 24-footer.
Okay.
So, and the exciting part is my middle son got a job in Tyler because we were supposed to close on our house on the 15th of August.
Right.
So now there's 4 of us living in that 24-foot. It's kind of comical. Everybody out there at the place we're staying kind of laugh. They go, y'all all come out of there? So no, it's been wife and kids have handled it real well, and soon we'll be have a semi-normal life.
Have a semi-normal life, if there is such a thing in the coaching business.
Yeah, that's right. I'll at least be able to roll over and not hit my head on the side of the wall or something here pretty quick.
But you sold your house, so you're making the transition, and that's good. Because the thing about it, once football season starts, there's really not a lot of room for distraction.
Yeah, no, and I'm not there very often, so they're the ones that have to live in that small space. I'm just there to lay my head down at night and eat some quick supper and get up and hit it again the next day. But yeah, that's the thing. When you make the transition, that a lot of people that hadn't had to do it, doesn't realize that the family, for us, it's no big deal. I can sleep in my truck and be just fine. But you got your wife and kids, and they're going to a new school. I've got a freshman today, that's making his first appearance, going from small schools to this 2,700 students.
Right.
Yeah, I was trying to lead him around the map this morning and help him understand it. And the wife's getting a new job and leaving students that she's fallen in love with over there, and going to have to go through all that. So it's a big transition, and then I put them in a fifth wheel, but hopefully we'll make that Remedy work out well
and get a real house and lead a normal life
soon.
Right? Soon. And people also, you were telling me you have been a track official. You have a real passion for track and field.
I've always been a track coach. As a football coach, you realize that what track does for your football program, and so I'd always been a track coach along with my football duties, and so I've officiated a lot of meets. Now, since I've become a head coach, I've had to shut back, doing the big college meets and stuff like that. So focus more on my football duties. As an assistant, you got a little more free time where you can actually do that kind of stuff in the summer, but not anymore.
We're going to look here a bit later, not right at the moment, but here just a bit. We're going to see some video of the scrimmage this past Friday night against Marshall. But your football team, this group of young men is coming off a 1-9 last year. So has that been the biggest challenge, convincing them that that's in the past?
It's hard. They've bought in, they believe it, but you know how it is. You can say something, but until they see something beneficial from what we're doing, what we're preaching to them, in the back of their mind there's always doubt, and so that's going to be the biggest challenge, is getting them to overcome that doubt. And the scrimmage the other night, they executed pretty well. We were pleased overall. Didn't see anything that we couldn't fix down the road, so they kind of got a little confidence from that, and then it'll just hopefully grow through the season and pulling them together. The hardest part when you've been down, in my opinion, is it's easier to give up. The kids have gotten used to, I think they were 2-9 followed by 1-9. So some of these kids that are seniors have won 3 games, and so in life, they're no different than us. If it's always going bad, and then the first time something goes bad, you have a tendency to go, well, here we go again. This is just my destiny. This is how it's supposed to be. And what we've got to get them to do is to learn to just forget what happened the play before, and let's go on to the next play and just compete every play from whistle to whistle. Just get after it the best you can, and good things will happen when you get that mentality and get it where every play, I just know I'm going to give them my best effort on every football play. Good things eventually is going to happen to them.
Of course, if you're going to be a great head coach, you got to have great assistants. I know you got some of the great veterans who've been here a while, but also some new faces on this coaching
staff.
Side.
That's right. And from my standpoint, honestly, and people to see as time goes on, really, if I didn't have good assistants, I probably wouldn't be sitting here today. I'm not very smart and things like that, so I got to rely on guys. A guy asked me one time, what do you look for when you're hiring somebody? And I said, well, I try to hire to overcome my weaknesses. And he said, oh, that sounds good. And I said, yeah, that means I got to have a really big staff. But no, we've got a great group of guys. Coach Anderson, of course, defense coordinator, coming over from Waco Midway.
Pretty good team last year, too.
Yes, and he's done a great job, and in implementing stuff. He's got coaches with a lot of passion, good to the kids. Mainly everybody that we got kind of has my philosophy on kids, on why we're in this business. We got to win football games and stuff to keep our jobs, but the biggest thing is helping these kids keep from going down the wrong road and being there for them and that kind of thing. And then, of course, Coach Robertson was at Fairfield before I came to Fairfield. He came over there 1 year, the offense coordinator, but I was lucky enough to get him to come with me, and Coach Denson, of course, Fleet, been here forever, and he's enjoying life now, and got Coach Denson to replace him on the O-line position. Got lucky at the quarterback position. Got a kid named Wall Raven that actually was Kevin Cobb's backup at the University of Houston, played for Coach Browse, and they all had good things to say about him, and was lucky enough to get him. And then, of course, picked up a guy named Donnie Leach. Donnie actually had lived in Flint, had got out of coaching for a year, and was able to get him. So we picked up, and I'm sure I forgot somebody probably, but we picked up some new guys. But the old guys that are here, they're great guys. I mean, they won the 5A Division I championship in 2004, so it's not like they don't know how to coach. And so it really worked out well on the staff, the blend of the new and the old, and being able to pull them all together. And just like the kids, you got to unify the coaching staff also. All
right, let's I tell you what, we'll talk specifically about the team as we roll along. But this past Friday night, the Red Raiders scrimmaged at Marshall. So let's roll some video and see some of the highlights of what turned out to be a productive evening for the Red Raiders. And Coach, I assume you're in the white uniforms here.
Yes, that's us in the white there, and That's just a simple old blast play going downhill. The O-lines, they're going to be pretty good. They've got some little technical issues with steps and things like that, new blocking schemes that's been implemented, but of course Quintus, he knows how to run the football, and we're trying to get our receivers to understand that till the whistle blows, you block downfield, and those plays will turn into touchdowns.
Quintus Wallace is a senior this year, and he has special talents. Now, who's the quarterback here?
That's Riley Poster. That's okay. Bryce Wilkerson catching the ball there. We threw and caught the ball pretty well the other night. Overall, I was pleased with our passing and catching. Now there's Quintus going north and south, and that's where he's going to make a difference.
And last year, State hurt a lot, and having him back, that makes you a lot better if you can keep him healthy. Right?
Yeah, it's not rocket science. If he's 100% and healthy, then you'll see some highlights like that. But, that's the thing about a football team is the guys behind him's got to be ready. Anything goes down with your teammates. I think it's probably Nicola Willis stepping in here. That's Marquise Williams catching a little swing route there from Poster and doing a good job of making some yards after the catch. He's pretty hard to bring down. Mm-hmm. That's going to be the key. I mean, we're going to be able to run the football. This is back up here, Nicola Willis running the football there. So, they're going to have to step up and be ready, and we're going to be able to throw the football. That's what's exciting is I think we've traditionally had a great running game, and we're going to be able to run the football. Defense, boy, they did a pretty good job all night. Of course, we don't have it on the film, but first possession on the live stuff, we fumbled the ball on about our 30-yard line. Of course, they just stuffed them and got the football back. Mm-hmm. But D-line's going to be pretty good and active. Tristan Taylor, Antron Henry, Keith Anderson, those guys doing a good job. And, of course, linebackers got a couple of new guys. You got Derek Delkey and Derek and Marcus White's moved over to the defensive side of the linebacker.
Is he going to play both ways?
Yeah, we're going to use him on offense. That's a sophomore kid there, Banks, running the football there. He did a pretty good job. This is Spencer Bora. Now that's how you play the swing route. He did that a couple of times Friday night. Looked really good. Linebackers, they're getting better and better. That's a couple of new kids there. But, depth-wise, that's what we're looking for at that linebacker position, creating some depth. I think this is Bryce Stewart picking off a ball here, yeah. Secondary did pretty good. They're going to get a big test for Saturday night. Sulphur Springs is going to throw the ball well. That's Chris Manuels, sophomore fullback. We've got about 3 guys that all bring something to the table at fullback. We're trying to work in at fullback.
Coach, you're going to go out of 2 backs a lot. I mean, you've done that mostly in the scrimmages.
Well,
that's kind of the way you're going to be?
Right now, we've got some 1-back stuff. We didn't, working on our base stuff right now. But, yeah, we'll have one. We're going to be in 1-back gun. We're going to be 2-back under center. It depends on personnel. Right now, our personnel, we'll get in the 1-back stuff some and throw it around. But, just trying to get our base stuff, eye stuff, polished up. If you get in a rain game, a lot of times I've seen teams that, all they can do is get in the gun, and then, you got that torrential downpour in the playoffs, and you can't get under center and go downhill.
And we may have some weather this week. I mean, given what's going on
that's right.
with Hurricane Isaac, we may have a little rain this week.
That was right after we turned the ball over on our first possession of the live, and defense stuffed them and gave us the football back. And then this is good job by the fullback.
Poster still the quarterback, right?
Yep. That's Quintus going downhill. He's a little tough to bring down. Right there he does a good job, but once he gets earlier in the scrimmage, it's not on this tape. He didn't get vertical right after he made that cut he made there, but there he went ahead and got back vertical, and that's what he gets to doing that. Here's Bora again.
And you told me you still don't think he's in tip-top shape yet.
Oh, right? No, he's not.
Because he got caught there on that touchdown
that's right.
run.
That's right. So he, that's one thing the guys have to figure out is how to get themselves in shape. And you know how it is. You're a former athlete that only you know if you're giving 100% when you're running sprints. You can fake it and do all that head bobbing and all that stuff, but each player's got to understand coming from within. That's a little bootleg route, hitting the Banks kid out in the flat. So, we're doing a good job play action. We've got more stuff. We working on our base stuff. You know, we didn't even block that right there, and Marcus, I guess, has got us down to the 1.
Again, Marcus White was a really good player last year on both sides, on offense, and you're going to use him defensively this year.
Yeah,
as a
that's
linebacker, right? Now, who made that play?
That's Sean Matthews, a move-in kid from Nacogdoches.
Okay, all right.
He's he's going to be pretty good. His pad level wasn't very good, and of course, you know, his reads aren't where they need to be yet, but he will run to the football and hit you when he gets there.
Don't you have another young man, a sophomore tight end, who's also a transfer?
That's Matthew Weeks. He probably was on the video some, but yeah, he's 6'5", just a huge kid that lived here in Tyler and went to private school, and is now coming over to Robert E. Lee. He's really doing well. I mean, he can catch the football. He's, I don't know, 6'5", 270, 275, somewhere in that range.
Like that, don't you?
Yeah, and can catch and move. So, yeah, that didn't hurt our feelings at all when he walked in.
All right, let's start on the offense. One thing Lee has had, and again, you know, Coach Fleet has semi-retired. He's teaching this year, but he's not coaching.
Halftime, yeah.
But he's, you know, established a great tradition. Now you've got a new O-line coach, but you bring back some talent on that side of the ball, don't you?
Yeah. You know, of course, we got Zach Page. Everybody talks about Big Zach and the things he does, and of course, you know, we got about probably, I'd say, 9 to 11 that we won't really fall off much when they're in. But of course, right now you got Zach Page starting over at left tackle, and then Ryan Rendon. Rendon's starting at the left guard. Wise Carver Smith starting there at center. The Hager kid starting at right guard, and then right now Ian Chase is starting at right tackle. We've got, of course, the Vickers kid, the Holtz kid. We've got several backups. Really, it's a good battle, you know, and I think that's what's going to make us pretty good, is we've got a little bit of depth there to where they're going to have to compete for their job every week and get after it.
All right, the quarterback is all, I mean, you got to have it, and Jordan Richardson, who was a wide receiver last year. Give me describe what's going on at the quarterback spot right now.
You know, Jordan, of course, you know, hurt his leg in the spring, and he's fully released now. You know, just trying to be smart and easing back into it. You know, he was looking very good in the spring. You know, Jordan can, you know, he's a great athlete. He can run the football, but the dimension is that he adds to that. You know, people think of him as a wildcat type kid, but he really can throw the football well. I mean, he does a good job. So he's going to be competing. Right now you got Riley and Christian Diasato competing for it at this point. And then when Jordan's completely healthy, he'll get in the mix, and we'll see where it goes from there. But yeah, Jordan's a special athlete with his speed and what he can do with the football, running it, but to also have the element to be able to throw the football is really going to put defenses in a bind.
For this week, though, against Sulphur Springs, Raleigh Poster projects as the starter.
Yes, sir.
I've met the young man. He's got
going
good
to
size.
Really, he's going to be a really good
player.
quarterback. Him and Christian both. You know, they mechanically, there's some things we're fixing there, but making their reads and things like that. But you know, we're not scared to have either one of them in there. You know, it's just a different thing to where not the run threat that Jordan is, but they both throw the ball well, and you know, one of them may be a little quicker right now on his reads, but the other one has a little slower release than he does, so they're kind of even right now and battling pretty good. And I'm sure, you know, going into this Saturday night, depending on the game situation, they're probably both going to see some time and try to get them live action, because, you know, you want to win a football game, but you want to be ready when district rolls around, know who your guy is and what he can do.
This club last year had a very difficult time throwing the ball downfield, and so teams would load the box and dare them to run. And
that's right.
You know, they were a pretty good running football team, but you only do so much.
Yeah.
You were saying during the video there that you think that you'll be able to throw the ball a little bit.
Yeah, we completed. I don't. It wasn't on the highlight, I don't think, but we threw a little corner route to Bryce Wilkerson. He went for about 60 for a touchdown the other night, and then we threw the fade route and completed it a few times. So, you know, looking at what we have with those receivers, you know, we've got DeAndre Allen, Bryce Wilkerson, Marquiston Williams, Cedric Brown. We've got some guys out there that can actually run and do something with the ball after they catch it. So I think we're going to be able to stretch the field and keep them from loading the box. We've got the ability to go deep, but we've also got the ability to dink and dunk it off the edge and let those guys do something with it in space.
All right, defensively, what do you like about this group defensively?
You know, they fly to the ball. The D-line is going to be very good. They use their hands well. Coach Reed does a great job with those guys. The linebackers inside and outside, I didn't see it on the deal, but when Walker kid knocked the quarterback's head off the other night. I thought he killed him. So they're going to fly to the football. Secondary's doing a great job, and they're going to get tested Saturday night with Sulphur. They're going to throw it all over the place, and just really their intensity. Those guys are tough. They're flying to the football and they're ready to go. And when they get there, they kind of end up in a bad mood.
Which is what?
Yeah, that's right.
That's the whole point, right?
Yeah.
Now, Sulphur Springs is a team that haven't seen in quite some time. They played here, but it's been a long time since I'm sure they played Robert E. Lee. They're a 14-4A program that's had some success, won a state championship years ago.
Right. That's right.
What do they bring to the table this week?
Well, Coach Owens, of course, great guy, does a great job with them. Offensively, they're going to no huddle us, and they're going to run the tunnels and the screens and just throw it all over the place. They've got an offensive lineman. You and I are trying to figure out his name. You know how it is on scrimmages. Nobody likes to wear the right number, and we're battling trying to figure out and
absolutely
that kind of thing. So, their offensive line gets after it. They've got one kid that's pretty good size, but the rest of them, are not just animals, but they get after it. Watching them on film, they're going to get after you till the whistle blows. Quarterback does a good job throwing the football. Running back going to be very elusive, hard to bring down. Quick Ivory, I believe, was his name, but the best we could figure. But he does a great job running the football and can catch it out of the backfield. Their receivers, their little inside receiver, which I believe is another Ivory kid, looked pretty explosive the other night when we watched them in their scrimmage. So offensively, they're going to be hard to handle. They're going, like I say, they're going to test us because they're going to no huddle and get after it and throw it everywhere. So we're going to have to be ready. The
last few years, Lee, is just by nature, I guess, of the location of where we are, the district schedule has just been brutal. And it's been very tough to win non-district games,
right.
and I think it's
That's
hurt this
right.
ball club going
That's
into
right.
district. So do you feel like that, it's a challenging non-district schedule, but it's not impossible.
Yeah, it's
just
not
to win a couple of
Trinity
games,
and the Woodlands
right?
and those guys.
Yeah, to win a couple of games early,
yeah, it would help
for
us tremendously. Yeah, it'd help the kids. Naturally, anytime, doesn't matter who your opponent is, if you're winning, you feel good about yourself, and if you're not winning, then you struggle sometimes. So, yeah, they played the Southeastern Conference basically.
Yeah, it was
South
a tough
Division.
schedule. Yeah,
it was pretty tough. So, yeah, we're excited about it. There's still a lot of good teams on there with great tradition, stuff like that. So it's going to be challenging for us, but we're going to at least have a chance.
And, of course, Lufkin's next week. You've still got John Tyler. But talk a little bit about that non-district schedule that you face coming up.
Yeah, of course, Sulphur, it's going to be a big test. And then Lufkin's Lufkin. They're always very, very well coached.
It's a road
and do
game
a great
too,
job.
down
That's right. And heard it's tough to win there. But, I hadn't
for a lot
seen
of reasons.
I hadn't, those guys in stripes haven't. But I hadn't seen those guys yet. We've been so focused on just getting ready for the first opponent and being prepared for Sulphur Springs that we hadn't really looked at them or anything. But I know traditionally they've got a great football team. Of course, then you got John Tyler coming up. It's a great rivalry game, and they're loaded this year. Coach Holmes and those guys are going to have a great football team. That's going to be a really big challenge. Really going to be a fun atmosphere. I really can't wait for that one. But we'll have to wait a couple of weeks to get our minds right for that. But then, of course, Texas High is always, good. I watched them play Midway a few years ago, deep in the playoffs, and so they've got great. And then, of course, we jump into district, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. What do you? Now you didn't go through the old district, but this district has changed up. DeSoto's gone, and you got these two Rockwall schools.
Well, no disrespect to Rockwall, but anytime you can get rid of DeSoto, Coach Mathis and those guys,
it's not a bad idea.
No,
right?
Didn't hurt my feelings at all. But it's going to be good. I don't know. Like I say, this year's a little different because I've been more focused on us and that first opponent and getting ready for them. That I don't know really.
You have no preconceived notion of the district, right?
I just look at Texas football like everybody else and try to figure out and talking to college recruiters that come in, asking them questions about the guys. But I know meeting the guys in the meetings that we've gone to, district meetings, that they're good guys, class acts, and it's going to be a lot of fun competing against them.
Let's we didn't touch on the kickers. Kicking game's a big deal. Coach Williams does a super job with the coverage and everything.
Yeah.
So Lumi Kaba, you do have a senior.
Don't leave Lumi off.
Right, yeah. He's a very good player.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Really, he's unbelievable.
Yeah.
I've never in 27 years of doing this ever seen one like him in person.
And he'll punt for you too, right?
He's doing both duties, does a great job. Punting the football is his field goal and extra point. I mean, I'm telling people, and they're not believing me, but we're gonna attempt a field goal of 60 plus if the wind's right someday.
Are you really?
I mean, he has got a leg that's unbelievable. So yeah, he's going to be a good weapon for us.
So you're going to try a 60-yarder if you get a chance?
I know sometime in the game, somewhere, there's going to be a situation that they're going to go, what is that idiot doing? But we're going to let Lumi get out. Because he made 3 in a row from 56, my first time I ever saw him kicking spring ball.
Okay, all right.
And he's got a good leg on him.
All right, so that's something good. Just now, again, folks know Quintus Wallace, and he's been highly recruited, but last year was a tough year for him. Just what kind of a difference could he make this year if you get 10 games out of him?
Yeah, really, if LaQuintus is healthy last year, then probably you and I aren't sitting here. I mean, he's that big a difference. They'd have won a lot of football games if LaQuintus had been healthy the whole year and played all games. And LaQuintus, you know, he understands how valuable he is to the team, and he's done a good job vocally, you know, being more vocal. When I got here, he wasn't real vocal and stuff, but he's been more vocal and understanding that, you know, as good as LaQuintus is, I think he understands that he's not any different than the guy that's playing scout team defense over there as far as importance to the team. But he is a good football player and has going to make a big difference.
This is a new era for Robert E. Lee. I mean, Coach Owens did a great job in 15 years, and then Coach Huff last year. Now, they didn't have a lot of success, but it was kind of the same type offense. So this truly is, in some ways, a new era. What do you want people to know about, what do you want for Robert E. Lee football now?
Well, to win.
To win.
I don't care how we get it done. It's you know, it's just about winning football games. But you know, really, they've done a great job. The kids here are good kids. They act right. A lot of times when the program's been down, it's because of discipline, things like that. And that was the first thing I noticed, that these kids are disciplined and they work hard. And that's a tribute to the guys, Coach Huff, Steckler, and Owens, and those guys before me. It's just sometimes, you know, you have down cycles.
Right.
You know, there's great programs around the state of Texas that have won a lot of state championships, multiple state championships, and they'll be in down times. You know, you look at the Temple Wildcats. You know, you think back in the 70s and stuff, 80s, about the Temple Wildcats, and they've been down for a little while. So, you know, you're going to have cycles like that. I just know we're going to compete, and we want the kids to understand that every play of every snap, we're going to get after it to the best of our ability. And when the play's over, I want to help the guy up and pat him on the tail and tell him you'll be back the next play, go get in the huddle, and not get caught up in the hoopla of talking smack.
Right.
And, you know, of course, we wear the shut helmet here, but, you know, in Fairfield, our motto was always, hey, the Rydell's going to do the talking. You know, let's put that Rydell on them. And we want to be physical on both sides of football. You know, a lot of teams are physical on defense, but they're not physical on offense. And it's been a formula that's worked for us at every place I've been. If we're physical on both sides of football, a lot of those guys on the other team, they get tired of getting hit in the mouth for 4 quarters on both sides of the ball. So, you know, we want to get tough, and that's one thing we're trying to stress to the kids. We've got to get tougher. You know, that's one place I think that we're not very strong right now, is we're not tough. We're not mentally tough. And so we're just going to have to get that attitude of, you know, if we got to go hit our head against that wall for about 2 hours every day, find a way to get tougher, and then I think we're going to be fine.
All right, Coach, good luck. First game is this Saturday night. Should be a lot of fun. It's part of the Kickoff Classic, and it's Saturday night, 7:30 at Trinity Mother Frances Rose Stadium. The Red Raiders against Sulphur Springs. For Coach Piske, I'm Bill Coates. Thanks for joining us.